So let us start. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Good afternoon, everybody. And if some people are joining outside Pakistan, good morning, good evening, whatever time you have in your country. I'm Dr. Muhammad Ali, who will moderate this webinar. So I welcome you all in today's webinar, which is about post-COVID-19 role of agriculture extension. Let me tell you, this webinar is being jointly organized by Department of Agriculture Extension, Faculty of Crop and Food Sciences, PMAS Arid Agriculture University, Rawalpindi, Punjab, Pakistan, and Pakistan Extension Network, in short, PEN. So I would like to request Professor Dr. Fazul Hassan, who is the Dean, Faculty of Crop and Food Sciences, PMAS Arid Agriculture University, Rawalpindi, for welcome and introductory remarks. Sir, please.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Participants, chairperson, organizers, good afternoon. This is good to learn that Extension Department has opened up a debate on the post-COVID role of agri-extension. Of course, COVID have affected negatively, but at the same time, it has opened some positive doors and positive avenues like this sort of activity webinar. Of course, Extension Department and the role of extensionists is to carry the information to the farmers, to the real stakeholder of this whole system, where during the COVID, there were least interactions amongst the farmers and the extensionists. However, this sort of activities and this sort of avenues, those were not really explored before the COVID, has opened a new door of interaction with the farmers. Of course, being a new technology and new to the farmers, this very much will need to teach those farmers how to use, along with the whatever we have already been conveying them to. So I think it's a good start, and I congratulate to the department as well as the moderators and welcome the participants to deliberate on. And I am sure that at the end of this discussion, some workable solutions of the after effects of the COVID to reach to the farmers and to reach to the masses and to take the information from researcher, academia to the farmers will bring us with some tangible, workable models. Once again, I welcome you all and thank you very much. May Allah bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your kind remarks. As you rightly said, this pandemic has created opportunities as well as challenges. So today we are going to see that particular picture in which we can realize what could be the role of agriculture extension after this pandemic. So today we are honored to have a panel of experts and who are experienced agriculture extension professionals. Let me introduce them one by one. The first one is Dr. Anjum Ali. Dr. Anjum Ali holds PhD and currently working with Government Department as Director General, Agriculture Extension and Adaptive Research. Although he's stationed in Lahore, but currently he's joining from adjoining area of Islamabad, Faisalabad. I think precisely that is Tandlianwala. He's rendering his tremendous services for transfer and exchange of technologies to be transformed into functional knowledge to alleviate poverty, increase farmers' income, enhance productivity to ensure food security ultimately. He's ex-member Plant Sciences Division, Pakistan Agriculture Research Council, Islamabad. Sir, many thanks for being with us. Our next expert is Dr. Khalid Masood. Dr. Khalid Masood holds PhD degree in agriculture extension and 2 master degrees, one each in educational planning and management, in short EPM, and agriculture extension. To nurture his knowledge and upgrade his skills, he has participated in a number of training programs broadly in the field of HRD, human resource development, capacity building, and project management within the country and abroad. He has also served the public sector, international organization like Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations Development Program, World Bank, and CABI South Asia. There are other international NGOs where he has also worked or he has offered his role in different capacities like in Plan International and Aga Khan Woods program, AKRSV, for more than 2 decades for different long and short-term assignments. Since 2011, he has been serving as a visiting faculty member with the Department of Agriculture Extension, Faculty of Crop and Food Sciences, Arid Agriculture University, Rawalpindi. Sir, I welcome you too. Our next panel of expert is Mr. Abdul Rashid Chaudhry. Mr. Abdul Rashid is experienced extension professional who has served national and international organizations like National Road Sport Program, Food and Agriculture Organization, United Nations Development Program, IFAD, Asian Development Bank, and others. He has also put in his services with government of Zambia and Nigeria. He has also rendered his services as civic education specialist in UN mission at Cambodia. His specialty is participatory extension and community development. He is renowned trainer having opportunity to impart training in multiple disciplines across the country and abroad. Sir, I welcome you in today's important seminar.
Mr.
Okay. Can you ask, so can you fix this issue? So I start from Dr. Muhammad Anjum Ali Butcher. Sir, how do you think, how did COVID-19 pandemic affect agriculture extension landscape in Pakistan? And the other experts, they can also jump in.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you. This is indeed a great honor for me to talk to this august house. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Because I am joining here from the Samudri. I am here for agriculture activities. Thank you, Ji. Thank you for arranging the seminar, and the galaxy of scientists and experts are present in this webinar. And this is indeed a very good activity to at least learn about from the experts the post-COVID situation in extension. Being extension agent, I would say that the agriculture extension at the moment in Punjab province is dealing with four major activities. One important activity is the transfer of technology. And we are transferring the technology for the major minor crops, fruits and vegetables, and using all the extension tools. When I'm saying the extension tools, meaning thereby that we are going for mass contact, to personal contact, to demonstrations, and method demonstrations, print electronic media, and social gadgets. We are trying to hit the farmers with all the available tools, including the Twitter. In addition to that, we have the responsibility of monitoring of agricultural inputs. This is also another important activity because from the seed to the fertilizer, the pesticides, the irrigation, electricity, agriculture credit is also a responsibility, and we are regularly reporting the government of the Punjab being its eye and ear to respond to the farmers' issues and to report to the government departments for the early action. In addition, the catastrophes, the eventualities are also part of our job as rules of business. Implementation of agriculture laws is also a major activity. And nowadays, our staff is heavily engaged in price monitoring, not only for the agricultural products, but the household products as well. You are seeing the black to the yellow or to the blue lights on our vehicles. And this is because the home department has included us in price monitoring. And the last one is the execution of the development projects. These activities are continuing, and we have seen the COVID. The COVID was basically the challenge for us because we are the front runners in the agriculture department. And when the COVID onslaught began in Punjab, we were facing the locust at that moment. And the locust was increasing from 3 districts to the 7 districts to the 11 districts to 15 districts and was hovering to 22 districts, including attack on our Pindi as well. This was another challenge for us. And when the COVID blockade appears, we were given the additional tasks of the supplies. Myself, as the Director General, was assigned the supplies of imported items, along with the marketing people, and a committee room or a control room were established in my office to work 24/7 to see that how we are dealing with the pulses and other imported food items, oils, and our other colleagues were dealing with the mandis. The total staff of the agriculture extension was deputed for the auctioning process, the farmers' field, to ensure that we have to maintain the supply chain under this adverse environment. Because the perishable crop disaster was very, very much possible. In addition, we were getting the foods, especially the perishable crops, from the neighboring provinces, and that interaction was also the responsibility of my office to make the Ministry of National Food Security involved and to the provinces to monitor the supplies. Facing these challenges, we were entered into the wheat crop harvesting. And at the time when there was no movement on the roads and complete blockage and nobody was moving out of the houses, we were more frequently running on the streets to ensure that the machinery is moving, interacting with the police people, because we were authorized to talk to the police people, and if there is any problem for any machinery movement or any workshop, and the seed shop, or the fertilizer shop, the pesticide shop will remain open. Anybody can contact the DG Extension Office as far as the Destin, and I usually, my office used to approach to the district's administration, to the home department, and in some cases to the health department for their their redressals. These were basically the challenges in days. And if you see that in the 1920 wheat crop, we were having a very poor crop in 1920. In 1890, we have 18.3 million ton of wheat crop in Punjab. And that 1890 year has actually diminished our stocks. And the next 1920 was the strategic year for us. If we are not producing a sizable total on the board, we will be facing another crisis. And that's why we have tried our best to support the farmers. Labor was no problem at that time. The farmers and the dairy laborers were there because most of the markets in the big cities were closed, and the dairy labor went to their villages. But even then, we have seen the losses in the perishable crops, specifically in the Sahiwal division, where the vegetables are more grown. In Lahore, in Gujranwala division, we have got reports that the farmers are unable to supply them in time, and they have sustained the losses. In this situation, we have harvested 19.4 million ton of wheat. And in the same time, we have to plan about the kharif crops. And kharif crop seed availability, not at the local level, but to ensure the imports. This is another challenge, because the Honorable House knows that we are importing over 25 billion rupee seeds. And if we are not allowing the import of seeds and pesticides, then that can be a problem for us. Therefore, it was a multi-pronged approach we were following in that pandemic days. And that's why our field teams and at the headquarters, we were not facing any threat from the COVID, although in the initial attack, we have lost 4 of our officers and 70 were gone to the ventilators. But the extension teams went in a big way, and they have faced, like we faced the dengue. In the dengue days, we have done the same type of activity in the province. You see that I was in charge of the service committee at the time, and our field officers enrolled into the Lahore, and we have tried to manage that. These are also the same type of challenging activities. And we have tried our best not to satisfy everyone, but at least our presence was felt a lot. And under that situation, when the imports were allowed, the seed situation was diminished. Otherwise, the black market and the counterfeiting will increase, and that can increase the adulteration of school seeds. One of the challenges during the COVID days, we have experienced the blockade from the China. Our major reliance of pesticide was from the China, and the closure of China. In the kharif crops, we were facing some shortages, and that has increased the price of pesticides. And that's why we have to do some extra measures. And in addition to the opening of the Iran border, the Afghanistan borders, and the opening of Karachi port to face the Ramzan Sharif, because just after, at the peak of the COVID pandemic, we were facing the Ramzan Sharif. That's why this 24-hour exercise we were doing at our headquarters, in the district headquarters, and the Tehsil headquarters. And that's why this COVID will be remembered a lot to us. And if you see our total programs, the Prime Minister of Pakistan has approved the National Agriculture Emergency Program. And that program was a big program of 25 billion rupees investment into the crops. And luckily, that programs were initiated in the same year when we have faced the COVID pandemic. We are now supplying the mechanical transplant in the rice. We are giving the complete set of machinery wheat. We are giving oil seeds, not in the form of seeds, but as a machine, and we are giving the sugarcane planters and the machinery, the sugarcane. And this is in addition to the support in the seeds, in fertilizers, in micronutrients, in weedicides, in pesticides. And let me again reiterate that Punjab is also running a mega program of e-voucher schemes, wherein Punjab is supporting the farmers of 4 billion rupees. And now we are transforming that e-voucher scheme to the Kisan Card scheme. And this action activity is now in full swing. And we have a big ceremony at Tanlewala now just completed, and I'm now at Samudri. And we have 2 more activities in Samudri now. And this program is also prevalent in Punjab. And this is basically a brief overview. And if you see the transformation, the National Agriculture Emergency Program has been implemented under that COVID situation. And with the blessing of Almighty Allah and enabling environment, we have harvested good crops this year. And we are planning another good crop for the next year. And not only we are diversifying our system from the main crops to the minor crops. We are having major programs on pulses. We have a significantly good program on medicinal plants. We are trying a big way on registration of fruit nurseries, and we are replacing wheat seed in Punjab with a heavy subsidy with track and trace policies. If you see this year economic survey of Pakistan, you will see the government of Pakistan is very much vigilant on the traceability of seeds. That initiative was also taken by Punjab province, and that convinced the federal government to ensure that the seed which is procuring at the level of farmers is not only good, but the promotion shall be bagged, tagged, and labeled. Under this situation, this is also a challenging situation. And now we are having an agriculture transformation plan. You are all extension agents are listening about the privatization of extension. Yes, we have another similar program in Punjab. The government of Pakistan is making the ground forces more efficient, more in number, because for 23,940 villages in Punjab, the 67% population, with over 6 million farming families, the existing 431 agriculture officers and 2,300 field assistants are very low. In addition, our multi-phase duties, not to explain our duties, are so important that the field interaction with the farm is not as much possible. That's why an additional force will be built in Punjab to face the farmers, and government of Pakistan is now trying to pump another 300 to 400 billion rupees to the farmers in the shape of seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, credits. You see, have seen the last speech of the Minister for Finance. Everyone has been given the liberty of agriculture credit, not only for the inputs, but to the agriculture machinery. And the transformation, the mechanization, the agriculture credit, the privatization, the warehousing, and the livestock, there will be a big program. And I'm here to respond if any observation, but on the overall, I think that with all our efforts, the COVID pandemic has given many messages. Work together and lead from the front. We can meet and we can face the challenge, but we have also persuaded the COVID messages everywhere. We are having 2 major messages. One, keep distance and wear mask. This message was given with every message through SMS, through robocalls, through field interactions, but we are bound to coordinate and work in villages. We are rural force, and we are trying to support our farmers because we are born in villages. We are son of the soils. And this is not the extraordinary we are doing. This is our responsibility, and maybe we are doing much less that is required. And that's why these are the humble efforts. And you are seeing the pictures, numbers at the moment. Our challenges are huge, and may Allah help us to support the farmers with zeal, fervor, and commitment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I like your approach, that is the syndicated effort to cope with this kind of problem. Not only this kind of problem, as you have mentioned a list of problems. I would say that was wrapped in a thing which we need to solve in the long run. And I would also request other panel of experts to jump in and add or say anything which they have observed or witnessed. Like, we were all confined, as you know, still some of us are confined due to COVID. So if there is any other addition from your side, Dr. Khalid Masood and Abdul Rashid Saab. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ unmute ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।
Thank you, Elisa. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you, Dr. Badr, Dr. Ali, and the management for putting me on the panel of experts. The COVID-19 has taken heavy toll of human life. Even our dear ones and near ones have left us. It has also badly impacted agriculture and social fabric across the world, and Pakistan is not an exception to that. Now, what the experts have suggested, that if we want to curb this pandemic, we have to restrict the movements. International efforts to control the virus by limiting human movement is inevitably causing economic shocks and social costs. Now, the previous speaker, DG, has briefed us, even have educated us. What I think is not the only agriculture, the whole supply chain has been affected. Agriculture sector can't work in isolation. It has other partners and players with it in supply chain, like those big markets, traders, even people involved in pesticides and there's NGOs, all those people. Government have taken right measures and they are producing fruit. But what I would suggest, that the extension department should take a lead to put everybody in one basket or at one platform, so that integrated solutions we can find some integrated solutions. Alone agriculture, whatever we do, it can't help us. Let's say if our production is not going to the market, next time the farmer will not produce. And then the main challenge will be the food security. People will not be getting the right time supply and right type of food. So what I would suggest, all the players should sit together and find solutions, what has been impacted and also what we are going to in future, so that these things are not revised. So thank you, Mr. Ali.
Thank you, sir, for your kind remarks and comments. Dr. Khalid Saab, we would like to hear something from you. Can you unmute yourself? Sir, still we can't hear you. I think you have to unmute. There is a sign on your... Did you find that? Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Now we can hear you.
To you in particular and the university management and Dr. Badr, everyone, I am grateful to you for inviting me. It's really a good opportunity to listen others and share my humble experiences. Let me first of all say that as per the data available, Pakistan has been very fortunate that the intensity and the spread of COVID-19 was far less than many other countries. We have to congratulate those who worked very hard at all levels and particularly the people who cooperate. There were many misperceptions, but somehow the organizations, they tackled it, and there were many people who were in the denial mode. This is one thing, this is a very positive thing, but how people controlled it, this was a good thing. Now, in today's meeting, what we have to think, I heard just the Director General and Mr. Rashid also, and prior to that, Team Saab. We have to see what were our strengths and where were our gaps. So unless we identify our strengths and recognize our weaknesses, we cannot move forward. And all such occasions and such meetings should lead to that direction. If we see this year, the crop yields, we think the information gap was not a problem. There were bumper crops in almost all, except in one crop where the problem was not the information gap or supply of inputs and other things or credit. That was the factor beyond that. The gaps we identified the first, that if we just review, very limited data is available. In extension at present, almost 10,000 people are working. I just read a report of the Director General. They could do a quick survey of the exact losses and the damages which farmers have faced, with the extension workers have faced, and we have shared with NCOC and other organizations. Our voice was very weak. Our Director General is very active, very progressive, and a good leader. We couldn't highlight the losses which are found. The only one survey which I found was organized by Asian Development Bank in Punjab. That was almost 400 respondents were there. They identified problems in 4 major areas. One was the earnings. There were earning losses. The second was the mobility problems. Dr. Lee?
Yes, sir. You may continue.
Yeah. And
The floor is yours.
the fourth problem was in the field of food insecurity. Now, our own data is not available. If we just see that 22% of the household in rural area, they returned back from the urban area due to the lockdown. So there was a big loss to their earning, which they used to earn in the cities and supplement and support their family. This was one. What we can do, we have to develop a strategy for that. And we should inform the government also that they need a support. The second problem was that 1/3 of the respondents that they reported that they faced serious problem of wheat harvest and marketing. So this is another dimension where we have to work. And similarly, almost 1/3 farmer, they reported the loss of income or reduction in income. So this is one. The biggest problem was the poverty. The UNDP, FAO, and other reports indicate that out of the 1/3, you already know that the bulk of our poor people, they live in the rural area. That is almost double than the people living in the urban area. If 24% is overall, out of that, 31% poor live in them. They are the most vulnerable people. They need support. They need support. Now, the non-farming community, which is roughly in this part, is 1/3. In every village, if you see, almost 1/3 are the non-farming community. So their earning was also affected. But when we look at the rural areas, we have to be worried about the farmer and also worried about the non-farmer community because they support the farming activities. They couldn't, and naturally, due to different problem, the mobility was the #1 problem. And food insecurity, I mentioned that out of 135 million people all over the world, 21 million people, they belong to our country. They are already facing food insecurity problem. This I also read in one of the articles. Now, the World Bank, UNDP, they reported because of the lockdown, this problem may further become more serious. So there must be a strategy that if in future something happen, it should not happen, but in case of any eventuality, what is the strategy with the extension department? I have been in extension department. I think extension with the present Director General in particular can provide a leadership. Let me tell you, good practices are also not available. He should be the main source where we can get the good practices in the farming community, which other countries have followed to mitigate this problem. Another thing, a good model of our organization, where the data was being headed by our Minister, Mr. Asad Umar, where different organizations, different provinces, they used to sit together, review periodically, suggest measures, and then also they were developing a consensus. I think at provincial level, the Director General Extension should chair a meeting, should have such forum, formal, informal.
Sir, can you unmute Dr. Khalid Saab? We can't hear you. It seems you have muted. Or may I request the data center to unmute Dr. Khalid Masood? Or if you have finished, sir. Sir, still we love to hear you. No, sir. Can you please unmute?
You hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I think a forum need to be created at provincial level because particularly in the province of Punjab, this is the food basket of Pakistan, where they should periodically review different arrangements to be made, different practice, a consensus can be developed that would be very useful for the farmer, and also making a linkage and reporting to the high ups at the government level so that the farmer problems are heard and listened at government level. Last but not least, many international organizations are now willing to support. So we should have close liaison and linkages with the FAO, IFAD, UNDP, other organizations, so that we can know what is being happened in other countries, seeking their support where required, and utilizing our 10,000 workforce of extension in the Punjab, having new skills of survey, collecting the data, and the DG told, providing first-hand information about the coronavirus. It will be a support to the government. Thank you very much for the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your kind remarks and some suggestions which are really invaluable, particularly establishment of a forum at different provincial, regional level so that they can cater the needs of farmers and other agriculture players through the involvement of agriculture extension. And as you all people know, our Director General Agriculture Extension Punjab, who is leading a fleet of agriculture professionals, they can come forward and take this kind of initiative. And I would request now DG to again say something about, like Dr. Khalid Masood has already shed some light on the effect of farming community. But if you want to add something, DG Saab, so please, sir. Sir, we can't hear you. It seems you are talking, but it is mute.
I
Yes,
think
sir.
no, I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Really, this is an honor for me to listen to Dr. Khalid Masood and his valuable comments about improvement in the agriculture extension system and to make a digital platform and data for the COVID pandemic issues. Sir, we have a crop reporting service in the province, and we are making such surveys. In addition, Punjab is basically initiating a mega project. We usually say it as back to basics. Back to basics is basically the rejuvenation of the Patwari system in the province. This is a new program wherein the computer literate, tablet-led, IT savvy professionals will be hired as Patwaris to make every entry of the village through the digital means. 4,000 will be hired, 2,300 at the moment, I think, 3,000 at the moment. Their trainings are started. In addition, crop reporting service is also strengthening its position by additional force through the Public Service Commission, and at the moment they have 1,900 enumerators in the villages. That's why Punjab can easily say that our surveys and data collection system, specifically the projection of the crops, is much better and has been tested many a times by the international agencies. We will do as per instructions as well and discuss in our forum. Let me also explain the other observation that we have to make a provincial discussion forum. At the moment, we have many such forums We usually called it as crop management groups and crop working groups, wherein the Agriculture Extension Service, research system, the experts from the universities are regularly interacting with each other. We have the agriculture technically advisory committees for each ecological zones. We have the Kharif and Rabi plan groups, wherein we are inviting the federal and provincial scientists to prepare our production plans. And you go to the production plans published in Urdu, you will see that we are entering the adaptable, the economical, the viable, the easily accessible technologies. These technologies that can be adapted very easily at the farmers level. Using all the platforms, we are working on farmer field schools, we are working on village committees. Now we are entering into the cooperative system as well. We have introduced this cooperative system in 3 districts. And this year, this program will be launched because this is the 2nd year of the project, and we are working in Sialkot, Sargodha, and Range Jharkhand districts. And this model, I think, will be replicated to the other districts. We are ready even to learn and listen to everyone. And I endorse the view of the Dr. Khalid Saab that the rural poverty is increased with the COVID pandemic. Yes, because of the reduction in the quick marketing of the perishable crops, the return of the labor force has increased the level of poverty and procurement powers. I do agree, and that is evident. And the government agencies and the other people at the helm of affairs are also noticing that these are not the basic disadvantage of this COVID pandemic. But I think that if Dr. Saab, the sayings today is translated onto a page, I will place it at the appropriate forum for further discussion. And thanks to the other participants. If you have any other question about the field extension service, I am here, sir, to respond. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm delighted that you are taking many initiatives to transform agriculture through agriculture extension services. And particularly, you are reviving the cooperative system through pilot initiative which will be taken in Sialkot, Sargodha, and Range Jharkhand. I hope we will have questions which I would ask other participants to, they might note down right now and ask later on, as we have other questions to ask and follow. So Abdul Rashid Saab, do you have any comment on this?
Thank you, Ali. The one question which was given to us was how the farmer community has been affected. Actually, what we are talking about now and what we are doing as agriculture is all for the farmers. And there are different aspects how the farmer has been affected by this impact. Social impact, loss of human life, especially the near ones. You know, we have a nucleus family system and the whole family works on the farm, especially when the young ones leaves. So that's a big social impact on many farming families. Number 2, impact is on mobility and access to information, extension services and inputs. Now, due to restriction on movement, social distance, the extension services, I appreciate DG, he is very efficient leader, but the pandemic had affected those extension services. Our farmers could not have access to those due to the movement and social distances. So there were many decisions during that emergency which he could not shout the advice or information. And then again, the input access was again a problem. Sometimes there was a cropping season, but the inputs were not available. Even those were available, they were charging heavy costs. The third impact is economic impact. Low demand and sale of farm produce. Due to pandemic, the sale of farm produce were reduced. There were high cost and timely availability of inputs and farm labor. The prices of the inputs were, I say, artificial increase. As you know, this is our culture. And then another impact was decision making and agriculture production. Problem with our farmer is, I would request even DG that we have been doing excellent job, but our more emphasis was on supply side. We have worked more as supply agent. It's not now, it's since the start of extension, that precision has to be changed. Now, what extension has to do is to make the farmer strong, so that he can take decisions, he can plan his agriculture production. This is irony, most of our farmers, they don't plan their production. Lack of extension and advisory service, they were also affected. There were certain myths about this pandemic. Some were even not sure whether they will survive or not, and all those things. So they rather than focusing on their agriculture, they were involved in these things, and still they have not come back to their natural working. And another, which the most one, is that international system of global agriculture has affected whatever produce, especially the big farms. Their export was affected, and that's how they were economically also affected. Now, my request is that what are the solutions for these things? How we can mitigate these impacts, and how we can help the farmers so that he can come to normal agriculture activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Again, I would say, as the DG Saab and Khalid Saab in the start, they rightly said that we need to work jointly and solve the issues of vulnerable and resource poor farmers through rural and agricultural advisory services. Now, if we see from the future lens, I would ask any of you may jump in. If we have similar kind of situation, how the agriculture extension will cope with that in the future? So randomly, anybody can jump in and say something about it.
I would suggest that the Director General would be the right person. What Myers is thinking about, or his organization, then we can suggest and maybe supplement that where required and if required.
Yes, DG Saab, Dr. Anjumali Saab, may we request to jump in and shed some light on this. What do you see from the future lens? Dr. Mohammad Anjum Ali, can you hear us?
So yes, I am hearing.
Yes, sir. So,
Any question?
if we have similar kind of situation, how agriculture extension will cope down the road?
At the moment, I think we have learned a lot. We know how to deal with the COVID pandemic. We are much educated now. Today, we have arranged 2 gatherings in two places. Our staff has managed the participants properly. Use of sterilizers, use of masks, keeping distance, and all these activities were properly placed. At the start of the COVID pandemic, it was not. And it was rightly said here that the farmers' education or the acceptance was also less at the earlier days. Farmers and the population was not accepting that this is a reality. Now, with the 21,000 deaths and many people reporting positive and global issue, everyone is at least know that this is a crisis. And most of our staff, including myself, has undergone this experience. And that's why we know the painful days and we know the agonies. That's why our response will be much better if we are facing the same, but we are not expecting that. We are vaccinated now. Population vaccination will be increased and Pakistan is now opening. And inshallah, we will be resuming our activities at full throttle in next 2 months. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's nice that people are following SOPs, particularly in the field. And as you are saying, you have witnessed, and it's good. And we have definitely learned the lesson that we must be prepared. But still, I think we should incorporate some kind of policy in our policy pointers, the strategy or the future action. So
And
maybe you can.
may I,
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
although
Sure.
it requires, Dr. Ali, a serious discussion and serious consideration, but off the cuff, based on the problem we have faced, I think I was just listening to the speech of our finance minister also, that we have to have storage facilities close to the village level where they can keep their material for some time. This is one. And we have to teach farmer also that how at domestic level, the storage capacity can be increased and their skill level need to be increased. This is one measure, but in any eventuality, giving information about healthcare and other things, so that is important. But that task may be taken by other organizations also who are directly concerned. There, our role will be only a supporting role. Leading role will be taken by the health department or other departments. But in our messages, we can incorporate about COVID-19, what measures farmers should take because they are. This is one. Secondly, they must have the credit facilities, speedy credit facilities. So in case of losses, in case of other things, they can cope with the situation. That the third one, in some farm, there should be some facilities to use different type of transport on some subsidized rate, whatever arrangement can be made. So I think in these 3 dimensions, we have to work immediately. There can be other also. Thank you very much. Listen, Dr. Ali.
Yes, sir. Thanks for your remarks. Surely our farmers and extension workers, they need to work together, and we have to come up with some workable solutions. You are right. Like the storage facilities which are adhered to the rural areas, but I don't know how that would be feasible from the practical lens. Mr. Abdul Rashid Chaudhary, would you like to say something about?
Thank you, Dr. Ali. See, there's one point about extension. As I have earlier said, that we are supplying the things to the farmers. How can we ensure sustainability? Sustainability you can ensure only when there is sense of ownership. Unless farmer himself or herself takes initiative, we will continue supporting them, right? So does he feel that he needs that? And he does not plan his cropping system. So that's why he's getting poorer and poorer. He has very low knowledge of market and other things. He's restricted to only farm. That this is what I have to add to the field and this is what he has to produce. Now, how to handle that produce, where he should sell it, how he can reduce the cost. These things are lacking in our extension system, and I'm also responsible for that because I am also extensionist. So what I would suggest, can we take a shift in our extension system so that we can help the farmers, that he goes towards sustainability, he starts planning, and he starts realizing what is his loss, what is his profit. Unless we do that, other things should continue. But ultimately, we have to achieve that end so that farmer himself, very few farmers are visiting the agriculture office. He's running business. And any shopkeeper, he goes to the wholesale market. But wherever he has to receive the products, he's putting everything on the shoulders of the extension department. And even still, then he will complain that his extension is not doing anything. So that paradigm we have to shift. That's my request, that in extension, the permanent solution is that the farm himself takes initiative, he starts planning. And so that he comes forward and find the solution for those. Thank you.
Yes, sir, you are right. But I think extension workers, they need to realize farmers that they have to think in that way and they have to take different initiatives. Even there is a need to build capacity of farmers to think in that way. And another thing I would like to ask, which is important, about the role of extension worker. Sir, do we see any role changes among the extension workers? Then we can conclude. Sir, can you unmute? We can't hear you.
Yes. So basically, the role of the public sector extension is not going to be changed. We are the public sector system, and we are being monitored through the Agriculture Smart program. This is a mobile application our every field assistant has with him. Daily in, daily out is recorded, and he is also charged through this daily activity. We are proposing a development project in Punjab wherein we are separating the women extension workers with the male extension workers in the same setup. Because under the existing system, we have to recruit 15% ladies in our field force. But as you know that one Markaz Council has more than 6 to 7 union councils or 50 villages, wherein without boarding and transportation, the lady officer is unable to move. And there is no doubt that the women farm workers are leading the agriculture system at the moment in Punjab. Apart from the mechanization and the irrigation, most of the farm operations in Punjab are led by women. And in addition, we have the nutrition problem, the food wastage issues, the food cooking issues, the home sciences issues. That's why we are proposing another project of 1.7 billion rupees. And I'm sure that has been reflected in this year a budget book. And we will be focusing on the sanctioned position of the ladies to place them at the sea level for working specifically in villages. The private extension will also be a support to the public sector extension, but that will be in a project mode. And that project is being proposed for 3 to 4 years. And this 6,500 field workers and over 3,000 agriculture officers in that field force, if they are proposing one. But at the moment, they are expecting that 3 union council, they have 1 agriculture officer. And thus 1,000 agriculture officers and 6,000 field assistant will take from the private sector to support the farmer-related activities. Let me also reiterate that the number of extension agents in the Punjab is not 10,000. The sanctioned position of the agriculture officer and all the officers is not more than 600, including the DG. And the field assistant is not more than 2,900, wherein available positions are 2,300. The other staff is basically the clerical staffs, the builders, and these total staff make it a figure of 10,885. The professional field assistant and the professional agriculture officers in total are not more than 4,000. And this is basically the activities, and the monitoring program will be strengthened. The more ICT inclusions will be introduced in the coming days, because we are trying to improve the socioeconomic conditions, and this change will be visible with the 2 things: increase in productivity and better marketing of the produce. The farmer will be getting good price of the produce. He will make more effort to produce more. Cheap agriculture or affordable agriculture products is another endeavor. And this year you have seen the rupees 12 billion has been reflected in many media channels that has been earmarked for agriculture. This is specifically figure for fertilizers, because Punjab is expecting 15 billion rupee subsidy next year on fertilizers. I think that if Dr. Muhammad Ali and Dr. Badr Siddiqui and Dr. Fayaz Sahi can make this webinar more meaningful by writing the minutes and the most important points shared by our big brother, Dr. Rashid Saab and Dr. Khalid Masood, so that we can discuss it with the experts in our department. And at the moment, even in this room, I have the Director of Agriculture Extension, Faisalabad, with me, the Deputy Director of Agriculture Extension, Faisalabad, and the Horticulture Officer, Faisalabad, and Assistant Director Samundri. We are all enjoying the good words from the House, and we are expecting that such type of good words for a public sector organizations are very, very meaningful. And we are pretty sure that with these farm resolve and commitment and available resources, we will try to deliver our best.
Thank you so much, sir. But I have just one question. So do you have any plan to build capacity of individual farmers from the lens of any pandemic which we might see from the future future lens?
Thank you. Basically, a COVID pandemic was not a specifically dedicated activity. COVID pandemic training programs was part of our ongoing farmer training sessions. We have distributed the literature, no doubt, but that points were added in all our research programs, all our training programs, all our manuals, and the messages that adopt the COVID pandemic SOPs and keep distance, wear mask, utilize and use the sterilizers. These are basically the educational term, and we have not run any dedicated program, but yes, it was a part of our every program in Punjab.
Thank you, sir. It's good. And we are fortunate to have the experts, other experts from other areas, as you have mentioned. Yeah, Mr. Abdul Rashid, you want to say something? And before that, sorry, sir. DG sir, surely we will distribute the minutes and our insights after the finish of completion of this webinar within couple of days. So we will share with you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Abdul Rashid Chaudhary.
Thank you, Ali, for providing me the floor. The DG has rightly said that it's difficult to change when you are working with the government. You have human resources problems, you have financial problems, and then there are some other problems. No need to mention over here. But still, we can explore certain windows where we can penetrate, we can intervene. I have some humble suggestions. Now, how the role has changed. Number one, our extension worker has to be more knowledgeable. Now the world is changing and changing very fast. So he has to keep pace. With those things. Another solution for human resources is that there are a lot of NGOs working in the country, and they have their organizations in the village site. We can take advantage of that. We can have a fleet of extension workers from those NGOs that will take our extension to their doorstep. We are available there around the clock. That will reduce our cost. Only thing that we have to train them. We have to tune them to the extension. Some of them are really qualified. If we can impart them some extension training, they can really help us in the field. Second thing is that we have to change our, I should not use the word attitude, but that the extension workers should give the impression to the community that he or she belongs to them. We should not work as government officials. So once you build that rapport, I'm sure your message is more effectively accepted and taken. Now, another, see the change is ICT. We should try to improve the use of, rather increase the use of ICT, and we should train our field extensionists so that he can take use of that technology and speed up the extension work and can help the farmers. Again, our extension worker should make efforts and avail opportunities to build his capacity to keep himself updated about rapidly changing technology, trends and information, and transfer it on to farmer community. And for that, I think we don't need finances and other things. I'm sure, and I strongly believe in the leadership of DG. He can take care of these things. He can equip his field professional so they can work more effectively. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes. Before that, you have all the participants. One quick message: you have the chat function. You can ask any question. You can write, and in the end, you may also ask the question by asking to unmute you. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Khalid Masood. Can you unmute yourself because we can't hear you? Thank you, sir. Sir, again, you are muted by default. I don't know what is the problem.
Very
That is the
unlucky.
issue with ICT. Yeah.
a very positive thing which we have noted. The Director General, who is now the spokesperson of the Department of Agriculture Extension here, he's very receptive. And let me make sure we are a part of the family. We belong to the Extension Department, and we will continue to support wherever required. And whatever we are telling or suggesting is also in a positive mood, in a positive manner, we want to help because it is our department. Our respect is also with the working of the. Having said that, I think we have to work in two dimensions. One is the content of the extension message. The second is the delivery mechanism. Mr. Rashid has very rightly elaborated about the delivery mechanism. But the content of the message also needs improvement. There was a time we used to concentrate only on the crops. Now we have to include the environment. We have to include other things also, which we can discuss later on, saving the time. The contents also need to. Now, regarding the delivery, there was a traditional approach. We always worked that the extension farmer ratio. There are May I continue, Dr. Saab? May I
Yes, sure, sir. We are listening to you.
In 90%, the public, the extension service, the 90% of the public extension service is in the developing country, and Pakistan is one of them. There is going to be shift. The need to shift this from public sector to the private sector. This is one. Secondly, it may not be in the purview of the Director General, but overall we have to think that the extension service has also been organized based on our bureaucratic system, our administrative divisions. There's a district level, there is a deputy director, there is a director at the this level, the DG at this level, this. So there is also thinking in international organization, in many other countries, that the need to be reorganized because there are 50,000 villages in Pakistan, one, and out of those 26,000 villages are in Pakistan, in Punjab. Currently, an extension worker, as per his report, which I read a few days back, an extension worker, even if seriously want to visit, can get an opportunity to visit one village after 45 days. Let me quote here one of the survey which was taken in India when they started the ICT in Cotton Zone. When they worked out that while we should move from conveying information through human resource physically, face to face, they found only 4% information was being conveyed through the extension staff. The rest, they were banking on other sources. So, and also there were certain gaps in the extension message also. How frequently they are getting? I also sometimes think, let's say, no public extension service or no government, no even in United States of America, it's not possible. Even if we appoint one graduate extension worker at village level, now what he would tell to the farmer and what farmer would receive from him? His capacity. So we have to make the curriculum part of the extension staff also revise it. Is he meeting the need? Another thing, the last one, in extension department, fortunately or unfortunately, people are drawn from all disciplines. Extension is not considered as a specialized subject. In my survey in different parts, whenever I meet the extension worker, a pathologist who got the job of an extension worker, he's still a pathologist. A botanist is still a botanist. Whenever you join, it's no problem of getting people from different disciplines, but then they should think and behave like an extension worker. What is their role? So I think this also need their training, their orientation, and in their in-service training program, they should be made as a one team of extension staff. They always keep blaming, oh, I was a pathologist, I joined extension. No, one, he got the job also, another thing. So as a team, if they have to work, this is one thing. Content they have to improve, and the delivery mechanism, which the Director General also pointed out, and the program is running very good. I have read the literature also on that. This mobile extension program is a wonderful program, and similar many other programs can be started. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Khalid. Yes, you're right. It is rightly said that extension worker is like a bird. So he got two wings. One is what to speak or what to transfer, what to share. And the second wing is about how to transfer the methodology. So you are right, we need both wings to fly on. As I already asked the other participants, if you have any question, you may write in the chat. One question was asked from Mr. Ramiz, so that has been answered. Although we do have the transformation plan, as DG and the other panel of experts has said, but we are not talking today about that, the public and private extension, or that is, they are going to have a different, I don't know, the system, or are they going to integrate? Will they work together? But we are not talking precisely about that today. Yes, Mr. Rashid, would you like to say something? Last point. Can you unmute, Mr. Rashid?
Thank you, Ali. It was a wonderful sitting. We got also enriched with ideas from the speakers, DG, Dr. Khalid, and other participants. Again, I would thank you, the management, that you provided us the opportunity to represent this honorable forum. I hope whatever our discussions are, that you will put a report on that, and the concerned quarters will try to implement whatever recommendations are. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rashid. I would like to ask other participants, if you have any question, you may raise your hand or you can jump in one by one and ask any other question if you have. And Ramesh, your question has been answered already. It's good. Yes, any other participant would like to ask? Yes, is there any question from the panel of experts? Dr. Khalisa, I was thinking that we have to arrange another session in which we can see the picture of higher educational institutions from the context of agriculture extension degree programs. That do we need curriculum change, or do we need to add contents in different scheme of studies? So, but we will discuss later. because curriculum is very important from the context
could
of
think-
pandemic or
I
any
think,
other
the
disasters.
department-
Yes, sir, please.
I think
Yes, sir.
if you have pointed out, the Department of Agriculture Extension, they are the right organization to tell the gaps they find in our graduate students, their motivation level, their knowledge base, and their behavior of dealing with the farmer. I think a meeting with them, they can suggest that how we should organize and improve our curriculum. Not only the content part, but actually we have to internalize these concepts. Presently, they know the concept, but how far they have been internalized. Is only academic education is enough? No, there much more is needed. Then we cannot provide everything. How they should work in the department, a pre-service, how good a person may be, but when he joins the department, he needs orientation of the department, the working of the department. We have to make that one thing. It's very important. We would like their suggestion on that, and we need to improve that.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Before concluding remarks, I would ask each panel of experts to give one single and clear message regarding the theme, post-COVID impact of agriculture extension. Post-COVID role of agriculture extension. Yes, one who is going to start? Do we have DG Saab or has he gone? Okay. Sorry, Dr. Anjum Ali has jumped into another meeting. So Dr. Khalid Masood, any last word?
I think based on the experience, first, this was all of a sudden. It was, nobody knew about this pandemic. Now people know it, and people know the losses and other things, the area where we have to work. Now, it's a good time based on the experience and the data available and what other countries are doing. We have to do some more serious work on that.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Mr. Abdul Rashid, last word from your side.
Thank you. I would suggest that all players of extension, they should work together. And again, my point is we should make very concerted efforts to build the capacity of the farmers so that they can also do the extension work. They can plan their production. That's my message. This is our ultimate goal should be that how we can build the capacity of the farmers rather than work as a supply agent. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So they should work like an extension agent. You are quite right. Yes. Any question from the participants, audience? We have received number of questions, but those are relevant to DG sir, but he is not around now. So the first, and that is important, how we overcome the issue of food insecurity in this pandemic situation from the lens of rural areas. Yes, Dr. Khalid Masood or Mr. Rashid. Anybody can answer. Even Dr. Badr, you may intervene.
Can you answer?
Yes, sure.
See, we should encourage the farmer and support the farmer in inputs as far as our finances allow, as far as government's finance allow. The most important thing for the farmer is to either to give loan or to give subsidy on inputs. Because if inputs are supported, the farmers will be encouraged and will work hard to enhance the production.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So now I request Dr. Badr Naseem Siddiqui, Chairman, Department of Agriculture Extension, for his final remarks. Kindly unmute Dr. Badr.
Thank you. Can you hear me, Doctor?
Yes, we can hear you
Okay.
properly.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. Today, we initiated the post-COVID-19 role of agriculture extension webinar. Our distinguished guest, DG Extension, Dr. Anjum Ali Buttar, Dr. Khalid Masood, Mr. Abdul Rashid. They were our invited guest or speaker or keynote speaker. They gave very thoughtful information and some informative question for the students. Those are participating in this seminar. Yes, I think the role of agriculture extension will be changed in post-COVID-19 pandemic. The use of ICTs will increase in their working, like Dr. Rashid and Dr. Khalid said that there are 50,000 villages in Pakistan, and out of them 24,000 are in Punjab, and we have only about 4,000 extension worker. Among those 2,400 field workers, those are responsible to directly contact with the farming community. But even then, for one field assistant, there are 1,000 villages to cover on that. So this is not humanly possible to cover for one person to cover 1,000 villages. That's why I am thinking that in that scenario, we have to train our staff in using ICTs to convey their message effectively, swiftly, and timely to the farming community. And side by side, we have to need to train our farmer also in using these ICTs for their benefit. I think this is my opinion that ICT use will be increased in near future in Pakistan. This will help also in food security, food insecurity also. And other thing, I appreciate Dr. Ali's suggestion that we may organize another series of this kind of webinar with other universities also. And I think we can organize this webinar with other provinces, DGs, or we can invite other province DGs also in this kind of seminar. So we have to cover all Pakistan extension services simultaneously. We can organize this type of seminar with academia, so we can change our curriculum with the dire of farming community, what they want, and we can change our curriculum accordingly. At the end, I am thankful to Dr. Anjum Ali Buttar, Director General Agriculture Extension and Rural Adaptive Research Punjab, Dr. Khalid Masood, Mr. Abdul Rashid Chaudhary, and the Department of Agriculture Extension, along with Dean Agriculture, Dean at CFS, P. Meher Ali Shah at Agriculture University, to participate and to grace the occasion, our webinar. We hope or we assure you that we will organize a series of webinar after this webinar. Once again, I am thankful to all the participants who gave their precious time to learn or to give some knowledge to us and our students. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sir. Thank you, everybody, for taking this opportunity to attend and learn. We will have other webinars soon. We will keep on posting on different social media as well. I would request to attend other series of webinars as well. Mostly the information will be shared on Pakistan Extension Network website, which will be launched soon, and on the social media. Thank you so much, our panel of experts and the other participants. Have a good day.